Hey guys, we're here at RocLAN 2021 Fall. We're here at the Webster Firemen's Building. They were gracious enough to let us use this for our event. We're doing a little fundraiser for them as part of it. And we also got some awesome sponsors. You can see down below we've got Mod My Mods as our lead sponsor. And we have Hamilton AV, who donated a bunch of our equipment we're using this weekend as well. With that said, I want to get into what we're doing with this panel here. Also, I want to apologize. You might hear some noise around me. It is a LAN. There's a lot going on, a lot of people having fun. But let's get into what this is all about, and it's going to be about careers in gaming. And I wanted to do this because I see a lot of kids out there, talk about they see their favorite players, whether it be Fortnite, Rocket League, CSGO, Valorant, any of the big games today. They see their favorite players out there posting montages and getting millions of views and making crazy money. You got 16-year-olds posting pictures of their supercars and stuff from YouTube. And so many kids out there are like, wow, I want to do that. I want to get into gaming. I want to post my montages. And I don't think they really fully understand how that person got to the point they are, or what opportunities they have to maybe start getting to that point, whether it be going pro or another career just to get into the scene so that they get more, noticed or more visibility in the scene to be able to move to that next step. So today, I'm bringing on a friend of RocLAN here. He's in a esports org, is Ian Thedgy LaForce. Thedgy being his gamer tag, of course. But yeah, with that said, Ian, let's get you in here and let's get this started. And so, just a little background on Ian. He is the current co-owner of NABannermen. So I'm gonna let him take it away and tell you all about it.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, so basically, what I do right now for LandFest, I am the Discord community manager. I, as Mike Lovely told me, or told you guys, I am the co-owner of NABannermen. We are a newly started esports organization. We just finished our first season of ESCA Open, and we were like one really good game away from playoffs. And with our first season together, that's honestly a fantastic start. We also ran a secondary team behind it, who was also, I believe they were 2 games from playoffs. So we had a really great start on that. We've got our social media and everything booming right now. We are opening up our apparel shop here within the next 2 weeks to a month, which is going to be super awesome because any content creators that we contract out are going to get massive discounts. They're going to get discount codes to give out to everyone else, and we'll be doing giveaways and things like that for apparel that the organization will cover for people to just get free stuff every once in a while. And we're looking to expand on more games. We're looking for Rocket League people, Valorant team, maybe even League of Legends or Dota if anyone is still into that.
So, and actually, I'm gonna cut in here. You just listed off a crazy amount of things, and I want to let them know. I'm gonna make sure our guys, we're gonna be running this as a panel. You guys will be seeing it here just after we record it. I'm gonna make sure they have something, some kind of links in the description so they can go to you, whether it's a command they can use, something so they can find NABannermen and actually see what you're talking about, see the beginnings of an esports org, and all of the pieces you're listing off right now, so they can put something to that.
Yeah, it'll definitely be really helpful for people to see, how it is starting. Because if you look at esports right now, you look at Fortnite. I don't really like making comparison to Fortnite because I don't know anything about it. But if you take CS:GO or even Valorant, for example, you have the biggest names in esports there. You have Team Liquid, FaZe, Hunter Thieves for Valorant. You have Astralis for CS:GO. Navi, who actually just won the Grand Slam at the end of the ESL Pro League, which was awesome. Congrats to them. Um, Starting a org is not easy. Getting into professional gaming, it's not easy. But it's definitely possible.
So what would you
And
say? Sorry, cutting you off again. I just want to
oh,
know what
you're
would you
good.
say is the most give me because there's not one probably, but top three most important positions in starting anything like what you're doing, or once you started like hiring. What positions would you put as the top three most important positions in the esports scene in an org?
For an org specifically, so my CEO actually hired me in first, as I was originally hired in as the esports manager. So I manage all the teams.
Okay.
And that's most important because you need somebody who can do the recruiting, who is constantly looking at not only social media but watching YouTube and Twitch and finding the big names that when you first start out have potential, that they're not already grown, because those are the people that cost a ton of money.
Right.
And unless you have a super big financial backer, you're not going to be hiring those kinds of people on. So you're really
Right.
just looking for the potential, and that's what I do.
Okay. Uh,
Behind that, you want a social media director for sure, um, posting about the teams that you already have, any kind of updates with the organization, because that also builds on your outreach, which helps grow the community around your organization.
okay. So I think what I'm hearing then is, I mean, as important as the players are, the people behind the players and the people who keep it all organized are probably just as, if not more, important. I mean, obviously you need players to have a team, but
Right.
to have the cohesion that a team needs, you really need someone in the background running that stuff. And like you said, social media manager and a manager. I think a lot of people don't realize that they already do a lot of that. If the people who are watching players on YouTube and studying the game constantly, and in their mind they're like, oh man, maybe I can make some highlights or do something like this. They're already getting good at some of that stuff that you need to be maybe a social media manager or a manager, because they're ahead of the game. They're studying it without knowing they need to. And I think that's the reason I wanted to do this, is because a lot of people don't see right away how important these other side positions, maybe not directly in the spotlight, are, and how they can be just as fun, and they get to keep doing exactly what they've wanted to do, maybe just without the spotlight on them directly.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing too is you have so many other positions between, upper management and players. Like, you brought up montages. The players don't actually do those. There's
Right.
someone else who does that. You have the graphic designer, the guy who does all the overlays and the transitions and the logos and all of that to put on not only the apparel but on their videos, on their streams, on everything.
Yeah.
So that person's super important. And then you have the video editor who does the montages, who takes the clips out of people's live streams or their live matches, and they post them under the organization.
Right.
And then if you go one step below that, with esports, and it's actually been found to be very valuable, is a team psychologist and a team coach. And um really, and just there's other positions there too that some orgs have, a lot of orgs don't.
Mhm.
um but a lot of big esports teams are finding that psychologists are super important, because it helps with not only their basic mental health, but it also helps with dealing with losing and
Right.
dealing with winning and moving to a big stage for the first time, or
Well,
going to a grand final for the first time.
and you think about some of the ages of some of the people playing. I know I follow Rocket League big time, and a lot of those pros are between like 15 and 20. And
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I did not know how to handle my emotions at that age correctly. And to be like, I can't even imagine. Like, I couldn't handle like little high school drama, let alone like you think about you have millions of people watching you, and the stress of maybe disappointing millions of people and losing could be a lot. And yeah, I see exactly why you need those types of positions. Another one I hear more and more about is also like coaches when it comes to physical activity, people who are making the players work out because maybe
Hmm.
they don't. It's tough to have a strong mentality if you don't have if you're not conditioned necessarily maybe a little bit physically, just getting outside, being active. If you're sitting in front of the computer, 10 hours a day as a player, and you're not getting outside and getting some fresh air at least and moving around, your your mind is going to kind of lose you a little too because you don't have that same stamina. So I think same thing with it goes back to the psychology, but also it's like almost like a sports therapist or just an active therapist to keep these players, whether it's working out or just getting outside, moving, and staying active in any other way to stimulate your brain rather than just the game.
Yeah, and the big orgs do have a personal trainers for the
Yeah.
teams, and they're team specific, right? So if
Mhm.
you have a big org, like we'll say Team Liquid, for example,
Right.
they have teams in everything.
Right.
They're one of the biggest organizations.
Mhm.
They have a personal trainer for every team.
Well, and I know another one, complexity. They get to work out at the Dallas Cowboys facility. Like that's
Yeah,
wild to me. It's like you have professional football players and professional gamers working out in the same facility, and
yeah,
that's awesome. It's crazy that those opportunities exist, and there's actually, um, I know I've seen some of the careers posted when it comes to organizing tournaments, organizing events, um, just managing players, which I know with certain esports comes down to essentially being a babysitter. In the pay rates for some of those things are crazy good, and
yeah.
I think a lot of people don't even know they exist, and it's I really just want to get the word out there. So when people see that player that they want to be, or they just know they want to be a part of that esport, becoming a pro isn't the only way to do it. There's hundreds of ways to get into any esport out there right now without being a god at the game.
Absolutely.
Yep. So I wanted to hit you up too. I know you guys are hiring for some positions. What
Yeah.
what positions are you guys specifically looking for, and how would someone go about finding that if that's even information that's available yet? I know you guys are growing. I don't want to ask you for anything you don't want to share, so if you can't share it, that's fine too.
No, absolutely. So we recently just hired for a Discord community manager for our organization because I don't want to do it.
Right.
Um, yeah, so we're actually looking for players for any game, pretty much anything that has any esports to it at all. Definitely Rocket League. We want to
Okay.
look at possibly Apex. I know Apex is kind of some people don't really know how to get into it. I
Yeah.
know how to get into it.
Okay.
Definitely a Valorant team. We want to start one. We want to have um, maybe even something like Splitgate. Maybe
Yeah.
4 people want to come in and see if they can start the esports scene.
Heck yeah.
Because it's like
It's
the
a
new Quake.
small scene right now, but
Yeah,
it has potential to pop off because that's one of those games that the devs are really listening to their player base. They
yeah,
respond quick. I love it. We're gonna actually be, for anyone watching this, we're gonna be having a Splitgate tournament in a couple hours. So, jump in the Discord. There's gonna be some prizes. Get a ticket. I know I've said it on stream a few times now, but do it up. We're gonna be that's at 6 p.m. tonight, and then right afterward, it's more of a community tournament. It's just gonna be a fun one because then right afterward we got the CSGO tournament and the NABannermen right here. They're going to be playing in that one, so you don't want to miss that.
yep.
So,
And I'm temporarily taking over as IGL for that one. So
ooh, got a
yeah,
sub.
and I have a sub because someone's
Oh,
not
okay.
able to play today. My one of my Canadian teammates isn't able to play.
Mm,
So yeah, I kind of want to back up a little bit
okay.
because it doesn't really make sense as to how I got to where I am, right? Everyone's looking at me like, how'd this guy get to where he got to? How does he able to start an org? I started playing video games when essentially I could hold a controller. I
Okay.
started on the Sega Genesis. My brothers put Doom in front of me for the very first
Nice.
time when it came out.
Okay.
Shortly after it came out, actually, because it's older than me by a year. But it was like 99.
Yeah.
1999 was like the first time I ever touched a real video game.
Okay.
And I started playing Counter-Strike when it first came out, and its release was in 2001 when it was a
Yep.
disc before Steam even existed.
Yep.
And a lot of kids nowadays would be like, "Wait, what? You're that old? You're like Stone Age." I get grief from a couple of my
Oh man.
teammates because they're younger guys, and I'm
Right.
like, "Yeah, dude, like I've been around a long time. It was on a disc. There was no such thing as digital download at the time."
No.
So yeah, I started playing 1.6 competitively.
Okay.
And back then it was much easier to get into.
Yeah.
We had Cal, and then shortly after that, Condition Zero came out. That game was dead. Never
Hmm.
had a competitive scene. And then Source came out.
I wanna.
Counter Strike Source was
You,
huge.
you're on a roll. I don't want to stop for too long. I had a question for you. Did you play competitively in the 1.6 days?
Yes.
Were you on a team?
Uh, Not really. I
Okay.
was more of a on the up and up, like coming up type of play. I
Okay.
wasn't playing with the big boys quite yet.
I'm call. Sorry.
That started later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Source came out, and Source is when I started getting competitive. I played on a main team.
Okay.
Cal M, not anything anyone would know. It was just one of those teams trying to start out.
Yeah.
And what was big then was the super big teams that transferred from 1.6 to Source were on the DirecTV Gaming Invitational. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
I do
But
not.
you had
I don't.
Counter Strike Source, you had Quake 4, which is where Fatality
Yeah.
actually had a really big showing. Was in his prime of Quake,
Oh.
and then after that was CS:GO. And when CS:GO came out, ESEA was just getting started. Cal
Mhm.
was dying out. Stevo was just starting. And when I started playing ESEA, I met pros.
Yeah.
I met Team Liquid's current coach, Adren,
Okay.
played with him, talked with him,
Mhm.
learned from him.
That's huge.
It was massive
Yeah.
because he was playing with the biggest names in North American Counter-Strike.
Mhm.
And back then that was Team Curse.
Oh,
Well, I
okay.
mean now, and people are like, what's Curse? I don't know what that is.
What?
And it even had a program. Like they had a program.
I've got a guy over here and one who couldn't be here in person today, but I was gonna bring up in the 1.6 days. I know they were running with ninjas in pajamas. I don't know if you remember that team, but
Oh yeah, I still follow them.
nice. Yeah. That's one of the guys I know from Ninjas in Pajamas ended up over at Complexity working. And that's how one of our buddies, the one who couldn't be here today, is still good friends with him. And both of these guys, they played kind of on one of the sub teams and did a lot of the management stuff. So yeah, I've gotten to have some cool conversations about how all of that stuff can develop and take place, and how it slowly grew. Like you said, it's a lot of it was just experience. It's being around it from the very beginning, and
Yep.
who you know, and it shows how you really just got to get your foot in the door somewhere. Find what games, what stuff you love, get your foot in the door, and just do almost whatever it takes when it comes to just getting your name out there, getting visibility, and you can grow whether or not it's big spotlight stuff on YouTube or behind the scenes. You're gonna grow, and eventually you will have a spotlight somewhere. So yeah, I cut you off again. I'm gonna let you continue. You were
No,
talking about.
you're fine. And to kind of expand on that, you can't be rushed. Like you can't rush yourself to become popular or to be well known.
Well, you
You know,
said you
I
started a lot of this in 1.6 source days. So,
yeah.
and I know we're dating ourselves again, But I mean, so you've been growing this for 10 years, over
Yeah,
10 years,
I've been learning
because
and growing
1.6,
Counter
yeah.
Strike for 17
I was
years.
gonna say 1.6, so that was back like 2005, 2006. You had already started growing it. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yep, it takes sometimes it takes a long time. You know, a lot of these guys, like the big name in Counter Strike, a lot of people know Stewie 2K.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he started when he was super young.
Right.
You know, and when that era of players, at least for North America, was around, it was easier to get noticed by big teams
Mm-hmm.
because of the way that things were. You know, but things have changed so much and so many new things have come on. Like Faceit has FPL now.
Right.
If you make FPL, which is literally just grinding, getting level 10, getting FPL, once you get into FPL, just keep grinding.
Mm-hmm.
You'll eventually get picked up by someone. Someone's going to recognize your talent eventually.
Yeah.
You have to. You know, if you're nutty, where all the other guys in FPL that are like, oh man, this guy's crazy, this guy's cracked, you know, he's so good.
Yep.
Keep grinding, and it's like
Pe-
that with any game.
yeah. People will notice you if you. It's whether you grind the ranks like you're saying in these games, and you get into the. If for Rocket League, for me, that's my familiarity would be grinding six mans. The six mans Discord. You get in there, you start winning, and learn how to play with teammates in comms. That's when you really can get noticed. Another way is show matches. If you can get your name out there and you start playing in show matches on other people's streams, people notice you. I think that's across the board with the esports. So it's whether you're grinding these ranks or you're grinding like you did, in essentially the life of esports ranks. You, you you just got to keep grinding, and you'll get there
Yeah,
eventually.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know, I was fortunate to come across our CEO. He goes by Celtic RP. His name's Riley though, and he's a really good guy.
Mhm.
I got really lucky. You know, I was just coming out of a 5-year hiatus of gaming in general.
Oh wow.
Hadn't touched a PC in years. You know, family life started, and you
Yeah.
know, I got older.
It's fair.
um, but with that came Landfest. You know, and that's where a lot of my background in gaming has come from in recent time,
Mhm.
because I've done work over the last, I don't know, almost 2 years now, so probably about a year and a half,
Okay.
and I've already helped with two PAX events, two, let's see, what is it, two or three DreamHack events,
Yep.
maybe even more. I
Wow.
I honestly stopped counting. Whether it was production or tournament administration or just running an event myself, like
Okay.
PAX East Online, I ran 3 different gaming blocks for PAX.
Wow.
DreamHack, I've done a T Worlds tournament. I administrated for Rocket League tournament, I believe it was.
Oh, sick.
Um, I was doing the public server management at which one was it?
Montreal.
No,
Uh,
gosh, I wish I could remember. One of the most recent DreamHack events.
oh, okay.
Um, they needed someone to run just manage all the servers.
Yeah.
So I did. I managed 19 public servers
Wow.
for like 10 different games
Wow.
over the course of a week.
Yeah.
You know, and I got paid for it.
Okay.
Everything I've done with PAX, DreamHack, I've gotten paid for all of it,
Mhm.
and it all stemmed from Landfest. You
Oh.
know, I met someone in Landfest. I did the production here. I did tournament administration here. I did, a little bit of everything. I'm
Right.
also again, the Discord community manager. So I kind of get to meet everybody,
Mhm.
whether it's staff or just anyone who comes through. At some point, I will meet pretty close to everybody. I mean, we have over 2,000 people in our Discord. Um, and I've talked to a large amount of those people already.
That's awesome.
And that has pushed me into where I'm at today. And Riley saw that I have the experience to do this. I've been in the esports scene, but I've also been in the background of working with big organizations and big teams, and the big companies that run all these tournaments and everything. So if you get that knowledge
Yep.
and you learn, you can take that anywhere.
Right.
And that's essentially how you get into gaming. Find a company. If you don't think you can make it in esports, I'm almost 27 and I'm washed. Competitive esports is done for me. I'm at that age
Yeah.
limit for CS that I'm,
I think
unless I'm
just about any
cracked up
esport.
player like
Yeah.
Forrest. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. So
Yeah.
now I have to move into the management role.
Coaching
So I
even.
take that experience and now I'm putting it into a new organization where we want to grow
Hmm.
and we want to build these teams. We want to set people up for the same success
Yeah.
that others didn't, that people didn't have the chance to get.
Pa-
We want to be those little guys that help the little guys.
right. You want to pass the torch, but also,
Yeah.
you know, make
Give
sure that
them the
it
tools to
grows.
succeed. Yeah.
Yeah, you want that flame. You don't want to just pass the torch, but you want the flame to grow larger each time you pass it, so that the scene grows, the player bases grow, the visibility grows, the entertainment industry around it is exploding right now. I mean, it's nothing but growth. So it's the right time to get into it, no matter who you
Yeah.
are. It's the right time if you're looking for a new career and you love gaming. It's not a bad time to look. There's organizations popping up all the time, and if you think you're the right talent for it, like Ian here, go for it because Ian's killing it, and he's living proof right here that there's so many options out there to really take your talent, no matter what it is, into the gaming industry. So
Yeah.
I think we got to wrap it up here. Do you have any closing thoughts, Ian, before I close it out?
No, check out we'll have a command or something set up. Check out NABannermen if you're looking to join a team or just get more information. I'm happy to sit down with anybody individually and
Cool.
talk to more about this, helping people grow,
Yeah,
learn how to do these kinds of things. Check out Annie Bannerman's Discord. You'll see us in the CSGO tournament, and
I was gonna say their link
hopefully we
tree.
win.
I'm gonna make sure somebody gets their link tree, whether it's a command or in the comments or something. I'm also gonna throw this up on my YouTube channel and do the same thing for you guys. So that's
Awesome, thank you.
Mike's Nerd Cave right above there. I'll try and throw their link tree out. Join their Discord, like he said. Talk to them. And I'm going to leave this with one more thought of my own. And that's just one word. And I think it highlights everything we talked about here. And whether you're a player or looking for a job in the industry, the key word is visibility. You got to get yourself out there. You can't just kind of be hiding back, waiting to get noticed. You have to push yourself out there to get noticed. You have to want it. So visibility. Put yourself out there as much as you can,
And
and
don't stop trying.
yeah, you will be discovered eventually. But if you just give up or you just think, I'm gonna wait, someone's gonna come to me eventually. That's a one in a million chance. The only time that happens is if you are literally like top, top tier at the game to the point where it's like, oh my god, this player is number one on the ranked leaderboards. Like he can't not be noticed even if he's not streaming, not doing anything else. Besides that, you
Yeah.
gotta put yourself out there. So don't be afraid. Visibility. I'm gonna leave it at that. I just want to one more time shout out our sponsors here at RocLAN in Mod My Mods and Hamilton AV. And actually, there should be a VOD up on the Twitch here, if it's not already, in a little bit, of Mod My Mods actually throwing a water cooler in someone's PC that just had a stock AMD cooler, and just kind of talking about what they do and everything like that. So definitely check that out. But gonna leave it at that here. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I know, like I said, Splitgate tournament coming up soon, and then right after that, you can catch NABannermen playing in the CSGO tournament. So don't miss it. Stick around here on Twitch, and see you guys later. See you, Ian.
See ya. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.